Anyways, so yesterday there was a race between Serial Masticator and Two Powered, and the race basically came down to whoever could kill Beezlebub the fastest. And I made a save file. This is just a save file that I have for like testing stuff and whatever. Yeah, what's up, Suna? And what I'm doing in this save file is I don't need both of these Alucard swords. In fact, I could probably get away with not using anything too powerful. What's like a couple things that I wanted to show off for fighting Beezlebub. Beezlebub is actually weak to Holy, so I guess I could show that off by like the difference between the Ice Brand and the Holy Sword is only one attack difference, right? So if I were to go over to Beezlebub and hit him with the Ice Brand, it does 100. Oh, sorry, that's the Holy Sword. 113. 113. For reference, I'm gonna hit him with the Alucard sword. Only 48 per hit, right? I could do Ice Brand, which is the same. Why? Ice Brand has... I guess I'm not high enough strength to wield Alucard sword, but yeah. So 49 per hit, but if I were to use the Holy Sword, it's almost double. Right? So Holy obviously makes a big difference against this guy. I think he resists Dark as well, if I'm not mistaken. So things to keep in mind, obviously if you have Dark Armor against this guy, his attacks like do nothing. You can just walk up into him. The only thing is that you can get poisoned by the little worms that like spawn on his body, but that's not really that big of a deal. So this is like one way to deal with Beezlebub. Right? Just like, don't really care that you're getting hit at all, like by poison, because it's gonna do 1 damage. Does cross deal holy damage? Yes, actually all sub-weapons deal holy damage. I don't think I have a way to give myself sub-weapons right now. I would need to change the cheats around a little bit. But this is like a very chill, easy way to kill this idiot. Is if you have Dark Armor. Axe is super good. That's one of the more casual ways that a lot of people kill Beezlebub is with axes. Brilliant Mail plus Axe would probably decimate this fucking idiot. Anything that does multiple, like, that has a persistent hitbox, so if it can go through multiple hits, basically, it's going to do very well against him. Holy Sword does very well. Marcel is another one because the hitbox stays out longer. Yo, what's up, Cryo? Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. So this hitbox stays out very long, so it does good. It does good damage as well. That's a good weapon to use against him. What's something else? I'm also very low level in this file, just for reference. Level 22 is basically like the lowest level you can get here normally. So, yeah. So this is like the lowest level you'll ever fight this stupid idiot at. The whole point is that I'm trying to show that you can kill him consistently with without access to Bat, without access to Mist and Power of Mist. I'm only going to be using Gravity Boots and Leapstone, which is like the bare minimum to get to the second castle anyways. So I'm trying to just find a decent sword to show it off with. Like, all of these weapons are pretty, like, okay. The amount of damage you do doesn't super matter for this, because you could either buff yourself or debuff yourself as needed if you have, like, those kinds of options. I heard somebody yesterday talking about possibly using, like, Masamune or other, like, sword specials and attacking from here, but unfortunately, you can't actually attack from here and hit Beezlebub. He's too far away. So there's no way to do like a grounded special attack against him. Even from up here, there's nothing you could really do to like hit him. So the only way to really hit him with a sword or close range is you're going to need to get close to him, basically. So I guess like I'll just do it with Alucard Sword because that's what I've been doing it with, and Alucard Sword is like pretty meh. I don't even have the attack bonus for Alucard Sword yet because my strength isn't high enough. My strength would need to be like in the 60s or something like that. I forget what my strength would have to be, but so I'm not. This isn't like the best possible DPS by any means. This is just like probably average, and I'm also underleveled. So I'm also on the yeah, I was gonna Fist of Tulkas with Dark Armor was gonna be a little for fun thing that I'll show off, but since you mentioned it, I'll go ahead and show it off now. Where is it? Where are my fist weapons? There we go. Oh, nice. Immediately get poisoned. Yeah, so dealing with poison is annoying, but you'll knock out of this attack eventually, so you're gonna want to dive kick off of him just to keep your height, or you can just gravity jump. Easy peasy. Is Heaven's Sword holy? I do not believe so, but I will check right now. Where are you? Heaven's Sword is going to be under throw, so it's going to be near the bottom. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's not holy attribute. You can tell by the way that Beelzebub is going to flash, the color of the damage effect is going to tell you what the attribute is. So for example, yeah, if you just see them flash red, that's just slash damage in general. So flashing red means that you're doing slash damage. So this is just normal slash damage. Yeah, there you go. So this is actually quite useful. I still died, but that's actually kind of useful. So I'm gonna get into the main strat right now as to what to do in general when fighting Beelzebub. I'm going to go to the other side of Beelzebub. I'm gonna wing smash through him because you're normally fighting him from the other side in randomizer. It works on both sides, but I actually find it a little bit easier if you're on the right side of the arena. It's a little bit easier because the arm that is on the rightmost side hangs lower, so you're able to attack it more often. But I'm just gonna get through him. So the strat is you just do some jump slashes. I kind of fucked it up. And in between the jump slashes, you want to time Tetra Spirits. If you see little worms on the ground, it's actually worth attacking the worms because they're going to do damage to you and poison you, and your damage output's going to be bad. So once you get to this phase where you've broken off both of the legs, Beelzebub is going to start having more flies fly around him. And in that moment, you're going to be holding up, waiting for the flies to fly at you. And once they start flying at you, that's your chance to do the Tetra Spirit input and then do a gravity jump. So it's going to be like this. I fucked up the timing, but it's fine. It can be a little bad with the worms crawling at you, but you can still do the attack. Yep. And you're going to do this like 2 or 3 times, and Beelzebub will be dead. You sometimes get bad patterns there where the flies like come at you weird. Most of the time you should be fine though. And it's easy just like that. And to show that it's consistent, you could even do some Tetra Spirits earlier on. This is me with low MP and low strength. So I think in a normal playthrough, like randomizer, you should be higher level than this. Doing the Tetra Spirits early also help by killing some of the possible worms early on. Even getting poison doesn't matter. It's gonna hurt your damage output, but the strat still works because it's not gonna affect your magic damage too much. If you get hit though while you're poisoned, there's a chance that you get completely bodied. Yeah. Another thing that you can do, which is kind of a like last resort if you run out of MP, which this is a file with low MP, so if you run out of MP, it's kind of on you because you should have more than this. Basically, the last thing you want to do when fighting Beelzebub is to do a gravity jump into him while he has the flies circling him. So you're using the iframes and the attack of the flies like going away to give you time to go up there to attack him. Because if you try and... This is something that I've struggled with and a lot of people struggle with. Because Beelzebub only has 1 attack. The dude has 1 attack, that's it. He can't do anything else. All he can do is call the flies in, they circle, and then they attack you. and that's it. That's all he can do. And the amount of flies that show up is dependent on how many limbs you've taken off. That's it. So long as he's in the phase where he only has 1 or 2 flies circling him, he's not really a threat. You can kind of just do whatever, right? But once you've broken off some of the limbs, that's when you need to get, like, careful about your timing with the Tetra Spirit. You're basically, like, the Tetra Spirit damage is nice, but you're really just using the iframes to get through the attack so that you can try and attack him. Let's say you run out of MP, right? Your next best bet is to actually back off and then dive kick off the flies to get up there to attack him. If you're unlucky with the pattern, though, that's what can happen. This is why I don't recommend doing this often. One thing you can do to kind of circumvent it is to, like, backdash through Beelzebub, but something like that could happen where you get comboed by a fucking grub hitting you, and then, yeah. Knock 7 minutes off your time by finally hitting Richter Skip. Let's go, Cryo. GG. Yeah, this boss is, like, super frustrating, but in general, if you just Tetra Spirit early and just do a bunch of attacks early, you should be fine, right? Once you can't, like, hit him anymore, like, safely, that's when you wait for the attacks, gravity jump, double jump attack, wait for the fly attack, Tetra Spirit, gravity jump. That was a bad pattern, but I still got at least 1 attack in, so I'm fine there. Your spacing really does matter. You don't want to get hit there. Sometimes even getting hit doesn't matter. Oh, this is bad. So see how I'm out of MP? What I'm going to need to do is actually dive kick off the flies to kill him. But by that time that you're in a situation where you're out of MP, he should be mostly dead. So as long as you get 1, like, chance to swing at him, you're fine. And, like, I'm not doing a lot of damage per hit. I could even show it off with, like, I don't know, Maulblung, which will do even less damage. I'm also purposefully, like, losing some MP here. That's fine. Honestly, the biggest thing is, like, don't get poisoned. I tried messing around with doing, like, a Soul Steal strat to kill all the worms guaranteed, but it just uses up a lot of MP. I think if I had more MP on this file, it would be worth it. I think they also despawn if you get the worms off screen. One of the nice things about this method too is that so long as you Tetra Spirit, immediately gravity jump, and then double jump to keep Beelzebub on screen, the individual spirits are gonna fly off screen and then come back and do damage as well. So there's no reason to die to this idiot anymore unless you get poisoned, but I think keeping an anti-venom or any sort of stat buff would make this fight completely trivial. Like any form of, like, increased damage to anything. You just have to keep an eye out for these guys too. If you have a cape that gets rid of poison quickly, that's also great. Because poison also decreases your MP gain. Like, you stop gaining MP over time. And getting hit a couple times doesn't matter here. Like, you still have a chance. Is this probably my last Tetra? Yeah. I got really unlucky there. That's unfortunate. So the only thing that can make this kind of difficult is the pattern that you get from the flies, because when the flies start flying at you is kind of random. What's up? I'm just going over, like, a strat to kill Beelzebub without using Bat and without anything. Yeah, you just whiff punish the one move that he has. Beelzebub has one move. How does Holy Rod do? That's a good question. Where are you? Probably pretty well. It's honestly not that great because it's only one attack per swing. Whereas if you were using Holy Sword, for example, it completely shreds this dude. Like, Holy Sword is broken against this guy. Can you hit the fucking grub, you piece of shit? Like, if I was using Holy Sword, like, even with the debuff, I'm still doing, like, enough damage to fucking end this guy. That was early, but it still worked out. So basically the whole point is you wait for the attack, Tetra Spirit, gravity jump, double jump swing. And you just do that over and over again. If you time the Tetra Spirit well, you can get the orbs to come back and do damage as well, just like that. It also depends on how the flies fly in. Sometimes the flies will distract the orbs, the spirits, and they don't come back, so. Do damage shields one-shot the flies? Good question. This is some great questions. I appreciate you guys bringing it up. Let's, does he resist dark? I feel like he resists dark, right? No, doesn't seem like it. Or this isn't dark damage, I don't think. Dark shield actually isn't dark damage. What's the sword that is dark damage? That's Morgamel? Yeah. Oh, it heals him. Perfect. It still kills the flies, but don't use Morgamel against this guy because you're just giving him health. What else? Anything else, really? Yeah, if you give yourself any sort of stat buff, you're gonna destroy this guy. Like I'll use an attack potion, for example. Which at this point, attack potions are less useful than strength potions. But one thing that is nice, if you are on this side, you have access to his hand. You have a chance for the grubs to fall on you from underneath the hand, but you still have access to like damaging this hand, which is nice. And I feel like doing damage to that side of Beelzebub is a little bit better. Uh-oh. Damn. Yeah, the flies also just die in one hit. If you want to go through and like kill a couple while they're flying around, that's not a terrible strat either. I messed around with this. And then when they start flying at you, you have less of them to worry about when you want to dive kick off of them. But it's not really like a good idea. Final question. How terrible is this? This is bad, right? Eh. Yeah, it's not very good. That's not enough damage. I'm pretty sure this would be way better. In fact, you know what? This might actually be a decent strat. If I can just stay up here. No, okay, that's not. The issue is keeping him in the center of the screen long enough for the spell to actually do stuff. So I don't think Medusa's Shield Rod spell is great either. Power of Sire is not super great either, because it only does damage to one part of Beelzebub. It doesn't do damage to all the limbs, which is a issue. Fire Boomerangs might actually be pretty dope. Hold up. Let me see. So yeah, I guess if you have a duplicator and you have nothing else to use, Fire Boomerangs are great. Skull Shield is a meme, so the issue with Skull Shield is you don't have a spot to stand in to like actually do damage with it. This boss, you probably could do some damage, but not like a reasonable amount. It's not very strong. Like, so the Skull Shield spell starts up high, but it's like, okay. That wasn't like a ton. Oh, nice MP refill glitch though. Yeah, like it's not gonna like shred through him or anything like that. Alternatively, if you could do Fuck, I fucked it up. But you want to like land on top of him and then do the shield rod spell and then double jump. If you do it right, it shouldn't be too bad. Yeah. You can one-shot with fire shield if you do it that way. But I am bad. Getting poison there might matter? Because it should, yeah. Hello? Oh, I never changed my equipment, that's why. Duh. So I guess at least 2 spells will always kill him. There's probably a way to do it in 1, but whatever. Anyways. Stop dying to Beelzebub is, long story short, it shouldn't be too like, this is, again, I didn't mention it earlier, but, or I did mention it earlier, this is a super underleveled save. So it's like, you should be higher than level 22 fighting Beelzebub. You should probably be closer to like 28, probably even close to 30 at this point. Even if you go to the second castle early, you're killing Darkwing Bat and Medusa guaranteed before fighting this guy. Probably Akmadon as well. So that's enough levels to get you to like 20-something, the mid-20s, high 20s. So, I do have Drag Tunic on, but I mean, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. Even if I were to just be naked. Yeah, it only increases my each hit by 3. Or even just 2 attack points. Having anything that increases your int for this fight is pretty good too. That's always a bad look when the last fly is coming at you from that angle, but... Yeah, getting poison kind of sucks, because it makes the fight way more annoying, but... Woo! Okay. Yeah, what a shitty pattern. There you go. As long as you do like a decent job of like backing up, you should be able to react to the flies and make sure that you're safe. So there you go. That's how to fight Beelzebub.